Yo ho ho ho, this is your Soul King Crazz, back with another character guide. Been greatly anticipating Jinbe's video, because I feel like out of a majority of the roster in this game, Jinbe is easily, far and away, the most underrated character in this game. He has a great example of what a great passive trait can really do for a game like this, and how it can really unlock just massive aggressive potential. And it's simple. They gave him super armor. So we're gonna see what having super armor really allows you to do in this game. We're gonna take this character with a very let's call it minimal air game potential. We're going to make the most out of him, and dare I say, I may even convince you he is one of the best characters in this game. Jinbe, First Son of the Sea. So, when it comes to his specials, I would personally vouch for Vagabond Drill, because it's his only special that comes out fast and does a lot of damage. His 7,000 roundhouse kick is very powerful, but it takes a little too long for my liking. As far as his other specials go, I mean, Sea Current Kick looks pretty badass, so I wouldn't blame you for wanting to run it. I ran it for a while. Sea Spray Pillar is kind of a trash move. I see no reason to use it whatsoever. Maybe if it had air utility. I don't know. It doesn't do anything. Ocean Current Shoulder Throw. This is like one of the craziest projectiles in the game. Just an easy take. Spearwave Murasame, I'd say, is worth the take if you're not convinced on using two of Jinbe's specials. And when I say specials, I really mean his ults. Because a lot of people just load up on two of Jinbe's ults at least, if not three. But I like to have a little more like flexibility in his moveset, a little consistency. And when it comes to consistent specials, Jinbe's most consistent by far is Sharp Brick Fist. This move has aerial potential, it's a dash, it's a really good dash, and it lets you dash on the only character with true super armor. Let's see. Well, that's not true. I guess all the giants have true super armor as well, but I digress. This isn't a guide for the giants. So Jinbe's Full Force Burst, to be clear, is what gives him super armor, which is a trait that says that if you boil it down, super armor prevents you from getting interrupted, staggered, stunned, etc. Prevents you from getting interrupted. Makes your combos flow without interruption. So naturally you want to go a little Hidden Resolve. I would say Jinbe actually does also benefit from launch stamina as well. I forget what the skill is called, but I prefer Hidden Resolve with this build because it has more consistency with stamina regen. But if you really just like that tight burst DPS, then the launch enhancement for your stamina is also pretty good. Also lets you infinite dash, which is also nice. Obviously, you go with your core 4, you know, your Hidden Resolve, Hero Strength, Cheat Death, Burst Enhancement. And then since Jinbe has just the right amount of smash damage, I like to double down on it. Now that I'm looking at it, I do kind of want to try using Power Overwhelming as a solid option as well, to be honest. I probably should be running it. But Burning Resolve is also quite good. Alright, let's get in there. So the main core of this guide that I want to focus on is going to be learning how to really press an aggressive combo that puts your character's body in substantial harm, and how to maximize the most off of it so you can deal as much damage possible. without being interrupted. So Jinbe's first string is just a light. One, alright, you know what? Let's just make sure we don't get interrupted by Prospero every second. So if you saw there his light string, this finisher has a really tight knockback, but it's not too tight where you can't follow up. So I highly recommend using his light string. Same for his light heavy. Light, heavy. His little shark fists going at him. What's good about this is if you cancel early. I'm a little sloppy, but you can how do you do it? There we go. Okay. So yes, his light heavy is going to be a heavy duty setup attack, whether it's for chasing them into the air with a launcher, like I just did, or using it to combo into one of your specials, as I just did there. Alright, so next up you have your light, and then your heavy string here. Gives you a nice little bit of mobility. Heavy, heavy. That last hit will really send you flying, and your opponent's flying. This is an excellent move to start a combo string with Jinbe. Alright, I'm not going to be showing the moveset while fighting Whitebeard at the same time. So 3 lights into your heavy combo. Alright, you know, we're just gonna get Hancock out of the way real quick. There we go. Light, light, light. So his 3 lights into his heavy spam allows him to do his little projectile flurry into another Ocean Current throw. This is a good way to set up for Ocean Current throw as your special. So once you finish up with this one, then you can go into your special variation of it as well. Nice little bit of damage. So one little note about this, his 2 light heavy variation. What's really useful about it is that it also highlights this hidden passive that Jinbe has, where if you see, I'm just going to do a basic attack with him, a basic light. But he actually does a little bit of tracking, and he'll do a little, like a little short push forward. And he will keep doing this. It's a great way to kind of clear through crowds. And then his light, heavy is another way to really enforce that playstyle. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 1, 2, 3, 4 lights into his heavy. Creates this little whirlpool ripple. So 1, 2, 3, 4 lights. Pulls them in, spikes them in, and then does a little projectile. This is a great combo setup as well, because you can cancel out of it into an ult, which I just did there, for a lot of almost guaranteed armor breaking damage. Okay, guys. I broke one guy's armor. You didn't have to go insane on me. Trying to do a character guide right now. Alright, so again, that's 4 lights into his heavy variation. If you see that projectile at the end, then you'll know that this move does not fuck around. We'll see it traveling again. So yeah, if you saw that, that basically went like, it went a great distance. So this is a great way to clear crowds. Set up for combo finishers. The only problem with it, and admittedly a big problem with PW4, is that you've seen me getting interrupted by all these specials at all times. Jinbe has a full fourth burst that prevents him from being interrupted. Where the hell is Burgess? There he is. Now, I don't know if you've been seeing this move that I've been doing, his Shark Fist. That's his, I forgot to mention, that's his default heavy by itself. And it is also one of his most important attacks. Because this move will absolutely devastate armor. It'll travel a little bit of a range. So, knowing that Jinbe's full fourth burst gives you super armor, it allows you to use all of these aggressive, slow attacks that normally take forever. But how are you supposed to really thrive without his full force burst? This becomes the mark of a true pirate warrior, as it were. So, a lot of this guide is also going to be focused on getting outside of your enemy's hitbox, using Jinbe's delayed attacks to serve as kind of an inside way to sneak through enemies while they try to set up attacks on you. How to get the most out of your amount of your times that you've spent staggering your opponents. See you later. So there's Mirasame again. So as you saw there, that dash does have accessibility in the air, but I will also recommend in equal parts using it on the ground as well to press an aggressive advantage that you may already have. It'll also help refill your stamina bar faster than your Ocean Current throw. That said, if you've got a clear shot, definitely take the shot too. It's just, you're rarely ever going to get stopped from that distance. And it's just going to clear through armies. But now, what is the true potential of a character that has super armor in this game? you may wonder. Let's go fight the hardest AI in the game. And find out together. That's what it is right there, baby. This character can't be stopped. He can't be interrupted. Once you have a mastery of his timing, once you're able to do all this kind of shit with your full first burst on, then you can really start the training. Jinbe's your training character, right? So if you ever need to know how well you can survive or function without your full force burst, he's the character to really do it with, you know? Let's go. Is that it? So as you're seeing here, I'm using a lot of his launchers, both as a means of refilling my stamina, and also as a means of pressing, like I was saying earlier, that aggressive momentum that is completely accessible with this character over most others. I would say the Giants and the Sky type characters also can cheat around this pretty easily. But if you're not a Sky type and if you're not a Giant, what are you going to do? You know, so you have to learn in most situations how you can really skate around this stuff. But with Jinbe, you don't have to. It's the beauty of it. You can just power through. I'm gonna be honest, I like this build so much, I'm just gonna play it twice, because normally I would show off all of his skills, but I feel like this is really just the one. Another example you just saw right there of why it's good to use his dash on the ground. Alright, Marco, let's blast you from a distance. Nice. Perfect timing. Oh, Luffy, don't make me have to fight you, buddy. Oh, we're... See you later. I've mentioned this in a couple other guides as well, but with Jinbe, since you've noticed that he has that little burst of movement whenever he's locked in on someone, it'll kind of... Yeah, there it is right there, perfect. It'll unattach him from the ground is the best way I can really say it. And whenever that happens, what you really need to be prepared for is to combo out of an aerial string. How to combo out of an aerial string straight into a run, because if you notice when you jump and fall, it has a little bit of like ending lag time from when you stick to landing. But if you're holding down the run, you keep the run button held down, you just continue in your sprint animation. It's very strange little aspect of this game. And that should do it. Oh yeah, I forgot to show off his moves in the air real quick. So, he's got his launcher. His launcher, as you can see, is very fast. And I do really favor using it when I'm surrounded by a lot of enemies. Most launchers tend to function like this in the game. And you also see me using that kick as well. That's as heavy in the air. His only other attack in the air is this little slap. The slap is funny. It's good to spam it, I guess, but it's also terrible. It's just not a good amount of damage. The angle doesn't allow for a lot of combos, and there's not a lot of potential for Jinbe's aerial combos in the first place, unless you have that. Let's go put Whitebeard down again. Oh, damn, close. You really do want, ideally, to take down an Emperor bounty in Bounty Hunter mode. You really want to be the one to get that finishing blow. So it also helps to plan out that that final blow a little bit more smarter than what I just did. Alright, let's go get this transport commander. Nice. It is time. So now that little variation that I like there, you just come out of the aerial into the dive kick, right into the dash. Also, another good one, out of the light string into his ult, or out of his 4 lights. Although if he's coming out of the 4 lights and into his ult, I do prefer to do 4 lights into his 1 light, and then do a little juggle attack from there. But yeah, Jinbe just has a lot of good setup and a lot of great crowd control potential. And combined with perfect super armor, he's just crushing the game. He's so good. Anyway, this was a relatively quick and painless guide. It's more of a love letter really to one of my favorite characters to play as in this game. With that in mind, we'll be continuing to cover more of the Straw Hat crew. Next guide I have planned will be for Sanji. That's right, Blackleg himself is coming up. Next, we'll be taking a look at both of his movesets, because he does have some pretty big differences between the two. Looking forward to it. And until next time.